This podcast is about you. It's about understanding how people like you and I make decisions. There are no experts on this podcast. There are no this is what you must do directives on this podcast. If you are listening to this, you can be on the podcast. The hope is that by listening to your story, copying your successes, avoiding your mistakes, someone out there can make a much better decision. Good luck. Here's episode 1. Hi.
Hi, I'm happy to be here and I'm looking forward to this session.
Okay, let me introduce Ketki here. She's a project manager at a company here in Vancouver, mother to our beautiful child, and we've been together 8+ years now. Yeah, I had to think about that one. So take a few minutes and tell me about your story.
As you've just said, I'm married to him and I'm a homemaker, a wife, a mother, a project manager, and a part-time influencer, dancer, model, whatever you want to call it. And that's my story. That's who I am.
Do you want to talk about some milestones in this journey of yours? Like, how did you get there? What would you say defines who you are today? What were the major things that happened in your life?
Well, the major decision was to come to United States of America all the way from India. That was the biggest decision of my life. And then, I started working in America and then we moved here in Vancouver. And somewhere in between, because I always had a passion for dance, I just started my own channel, and I think I would count those episodes, milestones in my life where I had to take certain decisions.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your average day or your average week? Like, what defines it? How would you say your average day or your average week goes?
Well, mostly during weekdays I'm working 8 to 5, and then I have to look after my child, look after my home, my husband, and then on weekends, whenever I have time, I just do collaborations. I just do my Instagram, my dance videos. But mostly it's my work.
This work is what you have always done, like from the beginning when you
Yeah.
started working. Is this what you have done, what you're doing now, or has when you transitioned over to becoming a project manager, did you make like any substantial changes in what you were doing, or how would you?
No, I
define
think
that?
I have been doing that since, I started working when I graduated from college. I started working, and that's what I've been doing all these years. The only change I think I've done is I like to do my homework now. I prepare myself over the weekend for the coming week because it's a huge responsibility and I just want to be prepared for what's coming. But yeah, that's about it.
You talked a little bit about being an influencer part-time in an alternate universe where you're not a software developer and a project manager. Is that what you would be doing? Or is there something else?
I think I would be a dancer, I guess, because I would rather dance in front of a camera than pose. But yeah, it's not like I don't like to pose. But yeah, I think I would rather be a dancer than a software developer or project manager.
Why would you say the Ketki of this universe isn't doing that full time?
The Ketki of this universe is doing that, but part-time, because I think once I start making money out of it, probably I'll give that a chance. But right now, I don't see myself making anything out of it. I'm just doing it as a hobby right now. So I'm just going to pursue my career and do this as a hobby. And if it goes somewhere, if it clicks, and we'll see.
Let's move a little bit from what you have done to where you have lived. Do you want to talk a little bit about like the places that you have lived at? What was the best thing about them? How did you get there?
Well, I think the best part was to move to Mumbai. That was like a huge decision, huge change, I guess. That's when I left my parents and I moved out and I started my life on my own as an independent woman. And that was a big change for me. And then, after getting married, I always had you, so I always had a companion. But that was the time that I feel like was the toughest and more fun. it's not like I'm not saying that living with you is not fun. It's fun, but that time was something that I had to make decisions on my own. I felt more independent than now.
So does that mean, based on that like job and family has been like the reasons why major moves in your life have happened? Like those are the ones that have triggered
Yeah,
the
always.
moves in your life.
Always. I've always been a family person. So whatever decisions I've taken has mostly be because of what I think about. Like with every decision, I always try to keep them in my mind, whether it's you, whether it's my parents.
Talk to me about your superpowers. What do you think defines you as a standout person at your company, as a standout person in your life? What, according to you, not according to anyone, according to you, is your superpower?
I feel like in my professional life, I feel I have compassion for people. I have compassion for my work, empathy, and I really believe in those words. And not just I just not I don't just say those words. I mean them, and I connect with people, and that's what I feel. It's like one of my superpowers. And when I'm talking about dance or influencer or being an influencer, I feel like I have an X factor, and I have a talent where I know that I can use my expressions and my emotions in front of a camera, and and people feel connected, I guess. And I think those are my superpowers.
Is there a superpower you see in other people that you feel that you wish that you had? Is there something or about someone that you feel you look at them and you go like, oh, I wish I had that?
I think I'm gonna take her name, and I think you should definitely talk to her. She's one of my besties, Anshu Chabra, and I feel like she has this energy that wherever she goes, she's the center of attention, and she grabs everyone's attention, and she has this positivity around her. No matter what happens in her life, she's always happy, and she's always positive, and I feel like that is something that I lack sometime as a human being, and I always look up to her, and she always inspires me.
Do you want to talk about your regrets? Like, do you want to talk a little bit about decisions that you made that you had maybe not all the information that was needed to make a good decision at that point that you would like to revisit now? Is there anything that you want to go back to a few years with the information that you have now, take that back with you and make a better decision? Are there any regrets like that? Are there any decisions like that?
I don't think I have any regrets in my life. It's just that I feel there was one decision that I think I could have done differently. After getting married, instead of just coming to the United States of America, leaving my job behind, I should have not resigned. I should have just stayed there and explored my options rather than just coming to America and doing nothing for 2 years of my life. So I don't regret it. I just sometimes feel like something maybe I don't know if I missed something, so I don't know, it's just something that I cannot undo, but I feel about it.
But is there any information that you have now that is making you feel that, oh, I should have probably stayed back and
Yeah.
pursued the opportunity that you had at that point?
I think people who were working with me at that point of time, I saw them, they got on-site opportunities, and they were really doing good in their professional life. So I personally feel that if I had stayed, I would have gone the same opportunity. But I don't regret it. It's just something that I feel like I missed.
Do you think that would have had a significant impact on the trajectory of your career or
Yes,
something like that?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Instead of
Yeah.
having a break of 2 years, I think I would have been a project manager 2 years ago.
Right.
And by now, I would have been, probably head of a department or vice president. I don't know.
Right.
You never know.
Right. Do you want to talk a little bit about goals? What do you think is going to define the next 5 to 10 years of your life, of your career, of all of the decisions that you're making? What do you think is going to be the defining factor?
I guess I like to take one day at a time, and right now my goal is to be successful as a project manager, and then in next 5 years I see myself as a delivery manager or a product manager vice president, and
Because
those are
you
my
just
yeah,
started in this
yes.
position, so you see growing into this position a lot more.
Yeah. So yeah, and as far as my blogging and my influencing and my dancing is concerned, I have been collaborating with local artists, and I feel like hopefully soon I'll start um, getting like paid gigs or something so that I can make something out of it, and that's my goal, I guess.
In order to be successful, in order to achieve your goals, do you think you have the information that you need, or do you have access to that information, or is there stuff missing that you wish would be a little bit more readily available?
Yeah, I think personally I sometimes feel lazy about trying to find different ways of how I can like
Probably not easy to do also.
yeah, it's not that easy. But yeah, I guess Instagram, I just try to find artists, local artists, and send them emails. And it's not easy, but it's something that if you are interested, you'll definitely go out of your way to find connections.
What would you say is the single most defining factor in this goal setting process? Is it personal wealth? Is it family? Is it recognition? What would you say is the main thing that is helping you decide what the goals should be?
Well, all this time it has always been recognition. The moment I started getting recognition from people, from my fans, from my followers, from my friends, that just gives me more confidence, and it has always been like that.
Let's talk a little bit about your decision making process. If you have two goals or two competing set of priorities, let's say in your example, it could be your the influencer business versus your full time job. How are you deciding between what is priority and what is not? Are you looking forward 5-10 years from now? Are you seeing which one of these is going to be more profitable? Let's say recognition is the one that you're going for. Are you looking forward and seeing which one is going to be the one that's going to help you get there the most? Like, how are you deciding? That's the main.
Well, my job is the one that's helping us buy bread, and
Right.
so I think money is really important, our finance,
Right.
and so that is something that I always keep in mind, and that is the priority. And after that, yes, recognition is definitely. So I think I'm going to change my answer to your previous question. Recognition is important, but I think wealth, I
Right.
guess.
Right. That lack of information is causing this confusion a little bit in deciding what you really want to do and
Yes.
what should your priority really
Yeah,
be.
yeah. After spending almost 2 years of my life I'm talking about my channel and my Instagram and in my influencing part. After spending 2 years of my life doing this every weekend, googling or trying to find answers, trying to find steps like what needs, because I don't have anyone in my family who can tell me what
Right.
to do,
Right.
or I don't have any friend who does these kind of things. So I would say if I had someone who can like tell me what needs to be done to become a successful influencer or dancer, you know,
Or a project manager.
or a project manager,
Right, yeah.
I think it would have been really beneficial for
Right.
me.
We're at the final question. I want you to think about someone that you would recommend I talk along the same line of questioning that we just talked about. I mean, obviously, the idea here is to understand how people make decisions, how they have made decisions in the past, what's the impact has been.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there someone you think I should talk to that you can obviously put me in touch with? And then while you're thinking that, I also want you to think, what is the one thing you would want me to ask them about? Like, what is that thing that, that key question that you think I should grill them about?
I think I've already taken her name, Anshu Chabra. You should talk to her and ask her how she does it. Like how, even if she's going through something, she'll always have a smile on her face, and she's always the one who has a lot of positivity. And if she's sitting in a room, probably she has everyone's attention.
Right, yeah.
And I just want to know how she does it, and that would be my question to her.